Yasiel Puig,
Yeah.
people have video of him. He's playing somewhere.
I saw a minor league team announce that it signed him, but it was on April Fool's Day, so I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Here's the thing about April Fool's jokes. Just because something isn't true doesn't mean it's funny.
That was pretty funny.
You can't just say that's not true and call it a joke. I'm Hannah Kaiser, and this is The Bandwagon, Season 3. We are back, unfortunately, literally back in my spare bedroom that I never fully broke down. I have been living on and around this set for the entire past winter, but luckily we didn't film any of that because it would have been really depressing. While the rest of the world is lagging behind a little, let's see, baseball is pretty much normal. But here at Bandwagon HQ, we've decided to do something a little bit different with our season, which is why this week I'm bandwagoning Netflix's Formula One Drive to Survive.
Yeah,
that's right.
cars.
While baseball is hibernating, I, a person who had to retake driver's ed at 29, I've never pumped my own gas, fell hard for a show about race cars and their beautiful brash drivers with incredible fast twitch muscle fibers and incredibly thin skins. So, okay, Bandwagon is not actually going to pivot to be about posh Euro sports this year, but we are going to break out of the one baseball team per episode format, and instead, this season I'll be taking time to delve into bigger, weirder topics around the game and beyond. This is the first one of those. We're going to do that right now. I first discovered F1, like many Americans, last year when the docuseries provided the perfect antidote to the total sports shutdown of the early pandemic. Behind-the-scenes footage and spicy interview clips are carefully cut together to create a cast of dynamic characters engaging in high-drama antics with the world's best ambitions. I'm sure it is a vast oversimplification of the actual sport as consumed by diehard fans. It's really more of a reality show than anything else, and that's why baseball should aspire to be more like it. People in baseball often say that they want to win. The difference in F1, apparently, is that they also say how much they want to beat the other guys, and they're not very polite or respectful about it either.
To whom it may concern, you.
The team principals tell Netflix about their agony over a star driver planning to change teams. They constantly accuse each other of cheating and then bite back with completely unrelated insults. So really, to recap, the relationship between them?
Christian, he's a good operator. He likes to have these little war games between us.
The rivalry?
But the rivalry is big.
During this past spring training, I talked to like 24 baseball GMs, and they are all so smart about the process of what they are doing, but so cautious of saying anything that fans might actually care about. And even managers eschew media-made rivalries that stand to benefit the sport. And look, I get it, because you should see the headlines people write about them anytime they do actually say anything newsworthy. So yeah, media, partially to blame. But it does not have to be this way. In the early 80s, George Steinbrenner probably didn't even punch a couple of Dodgers fans who called the Yankees chokers in the hotel lobby, and yet he still called an impromptu press conference just before midnight to claim that he did. Because whatever else you might say about the boss, he understood that the surrounding spectacle is part of the business of baseball. As for the drivers, they're all just open wounds of unchecked testosterone-riddled id searching for meaning in an adrenaline rush. They feel slighted by the preferential treatment of their superstar teammate, wallowing in their gilded paradox of essentially being the second starter on a best team. They prioritize their own glory over loyalty, they get demoted and take it personally, they get senioritis when their time on a team is coming to an end and try to overshadow their soon-to-be ex-employer. See, baseball players do beef with each other, with their bosses. They just don't beef and tell. Instead, they default to the sort of post-game platitudes that'll keep them out of the press while 22-year-old Lance strolls out here saying like,
there will always be controversy in this sport. There's no such thing as peace in Formula One.
This is not about backflips or better marketing, although those are worthy ambitions to grow the game. It's not about making more sepia-toned E60s or changing the style of play. It's not even to say that baseball necessarily needs to partner with a streaming service and put third-party cameras in every clubhouse only to find out in 3 years that someone hacked the system. Although, that would be cool. Instead, it's about just making the broader baseball cinematic universe into more of a compelling workplace dramedy, and that can happen tomorrow if everyone involved just drops the niceties and cliches and opens up about their pathos and their pettiness. Have you seen all the cameras? Baseball is already a television show. It's about time it starts acting like one. Alright, I'm not a fan of segues, but let's find out what I am a fan of. I'm a fan, not a fan.
MLB moving the All-Star game from Atlanta to Coors.
First of all, I appreciate and commend Rob Manfred for getting out ahead of this. What he did essentially was protect baseball and protect the players from having to answer questions about this from now until the All-Star game. And from like a strictly baseball perspective, that was a savvy move. Objectively, everyone wasn't going to come to a consensus. Manfred willing to take the heat for making a unilateral move, and for that, I commend him. Now let's talk about the voter suppression. But I do think that there is like a certain value in just sort of being like, some things that happen in the country, regardless of whether or not they directly affect baseball, are worth stopping and saying, I need everyone to look at that. And that's what baseball did. Fair.
The White Sox tribute to an injured Eloy Jimenez.
We talked about this when Ryan Braun wore Christian Yelich's jersey in, I believe, 2019, or his undershirt under his jersey, and we were like, that's weird. This is so much weirder.
So weird.
They hung his jersey. Jose Abreu put Eloy's gloves in his back pocket. And then they had a tweet. It was like, with us tonight and forever.
He's not dead.
So yes, he's not dead. Is he with you tonight? Like, was he there? And would it be weirder if if he was there, that tweet is technically accurate. With us tonight. And if he isn't there, then he's just at home looking at his phone, like, and the tweet's like, Eloy Jimenez with us tonight. And he's like, no, I'm not. Which is also weird. Not a fan.
Trolling the Astros.
People threw trash cans on the field. You shouldn't do that. You should totally bring trash cans to the stands, and you should sit there, you should bang on them. The A's fans that did that, that's funny. You shouldn't throw on the field. That's rude, that's dangerous. Just figure out for your selves what the line is between booing people, that's fine, I guess, and throwing at them when they're doing their job. Trust me, I promise if you do one, you don't have to do the other. So,
The big stuck boat.
Here's the thing. I feel like the big stuck boat is going to be the new milkshake duck, because everybody's going to be like, we love the big stuck boat. And then in like 3 weeks, some sort of like everyday necessity is going to cost like 300% more because of like the big stuck boat slowing down global commerce or something. Now toilet paper costs $7 a roll. Like, nothing is good. But the big stuck boat was fun for a little while. If you watch the past 2 seasons of Bandwagon, you know that this is usually the part of the show where I give you my humble proposal to fix baseball. And after 2 seasons of doing that, we figured you should hear from somebody else. So that's what we're going to be doing this season. We've invited some people along to give us their humble proposal to fix baseball. But don't worry, I'll still get the last word. This week, my guest is ESPN's Jeff Passan, a man who probably knows more than anyone else on the entire planet about what's actually going on in baseball. And so naturally, we are not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about something that isn't going on that he thinks should be. This is Jeff Passan's humble proposal to fix baseball. Take it away, Jeff.
My humble proposal is to limit the number of pitchers on a Major League Baseball team, starting at 11, hoping to get down to 10. By limiting the number of pitchers who are on a particular staff, you would achieve a number of different things. First off, you would need to get innings out of your starting pitchers. It would re-emphasize the idea that a starting pitcher is the center of a game and that he's not the beginning of a clown car that is going to come in and spit out reliever after reliever after reliever. Second, if you have a starting pitcher who needs to go more innings, the idea that he can come in and be throwing full tilt from the beginning of the outing just is not going to happen. Automatically, you would have pitchers dialing back their stuff a little bit. And I'm sorry, but when you dial back stuff, you increase the possibility that hitters are going to take it and put it in play.
So this I love, unfortunately, because I wanted to hate your idea. But young baseball fans don't know what it's like to watch a game in which the starting pitcher is the guy who's there when the game gets tense at the end of the game. Last thing I'll tell you, sell it to the pitching staff, to be real, or the MLBPA. How do they sign off on this?
Who gets paid better than anyone? A great starting pitcher. Garrett Cole's making $36 million a year for 9 years. And I'm proposing something in which you breed Garrett Coles.
Dude, I'm a fan. This is a good idea. We are setting a very high bar here on the Bandwagon with our first humble proposal. It is one that I am a fan of. It is one that was delivered in style. And yeah, if you think that you have a humble proposal to fix baseball, let me know. Maybe we'll have you on the show. Anyway, happy baseball season, everyone. Baseball season, Bandwagon season. Since we're going from 60 games to 162 games, we're going to do this show every other week this year. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. And until then, Talk more baseball players. I think it's fun.